96.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Hey, let's give it up right here. This is my guy. Yes. I'm so happy to see you.
Hey, gratitude is a skill, guys. But if you practice, it will give you a joyful life regardless of your circumstances.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Alan Cutler. Honored and pleased to be with you. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for all of you who tell your friends about the show. I've had 4 people this week come up to me when I'm out of the house saying that they just found the show and a friend told them, and one of them is actually a pretty good friend. But, you know, it's not like saying, hey, I'm doing a show. So that's really cool. It's spreading. It's growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, we all make mistakes, okay? I don't know why I'm being careful about this. Now, Jimmy, I want you to judge. I want you to be the judge. You ready? You will be the final decision maker. And by the way, I'm serious now. What would you guess is how many times I've called somebody a dumbass?
It's over 10.
Oh, yeah. I think it's over 20, but okay.
Yeah.
In all that time, have you ever honestly disagreed when I've used that term?
No, not off the top of my head that I can think about.
Okay. So I don't want to give Matt Jones special treatment because, you know, he's a megalomaniac. What he's created is unbelievable. I respect it tremendously. But when I'm done with about saying, Jimmy, I want you to tell me, I'm putting you on the spot. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah.
You're suspicious. If folks are on YouTube, you should see Jimmy smiling and go, what the blank is Cutler getting me into now? That's in your head.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. It's all good. All part of the fun. And so I saw Matt on Twitter last night, and he used the word committed. Now, this is the tweet. Mark Stoops, this is Matt Jones' Twitter. Mark Stoops says on radio that Carter Boley has committed to be at Kentucky in 2026. Now, I don't know if he's taking it down or not, but let me repeat. Matt Jones said on Twitter that Mark Stoops, on his coach's show last night, said on radio that Cutter Boley has committed to be at Kentucky in 2026. I about fell out of my chair. 1, I didn't believe it. 2, I didn't believe it. 3, I didn't believe it. I listened to the whole show just to get to that point. Now, what Mark Stoops did say, Jimmy, here is a quote, that Cutter is all in, wants to be here. He's all in, he wants to be here. By the way, do I buy that? I do. Because I want you to think about it before I get more specific. Now, Jimmy, would you say there's a difference between the word committed and all in wants to be here, in your humble opinion?
I mean, I feel like you're kind of splitting hairs. Well, to me, they're pretty similar.
Okay. They are similar, but there's a difference.
Okay.
So here's what's going on. Sorry for stepping on you, Jimmy. Stoops, like so many coaches, they're having conversation with their players. They're trying to see, you know, who wants to come back. You know, you got to re-recruit your players, all that kind of stuff. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. First of all, obviously, if Cutter says he's coming back, and that will help so many other people coming back, it's not even funny. I think everybody understands that. Why would he do that now? Doesn't make any sense. And by the way, let me explain. I'm not suggesting for a second that Cutter won't be back. If I was a betting man, I would bet that Cutter is back. That's what I would bet. Absolutely. So, Cutter wants to be here. That's what Stoops said. There's no commitment to being back. Why would any player think about this? Cut an NIL deal now. I'm making up numbers now. I'm telling you, I'm making up numbers. Let's say Kentucky offers him $1.5 million to come back. Because, by the way, these kids are going to make more money under the table than this whole thing that went on about spreading money around and stuff like that. They're just going to. There are offers out there all across the country for much more than I anticipated. Neither here nor there. I don't want to get on that tangent. But let's say he wants to come back, which I believe, by the way. Let's say he wants to come back, and Kentucky, let's say, offers $1.5 million. Miami paid Carson Beck, if you believe the reports, they paid him $4 million to play this year. You can say you love Kentucky, but let's say Miami offers Cutter Boley $4 million and Kentucky's offered $1.5 million. Two things will happen. Kentucky will either raise their offer tremendously, or he would probably leave. And for those who think that's being disloyal, okay, that's your right to think that. It's your right to think that. I don't know how many of you who would think that would leave a potential couple $1 million on the table. And by the way, do I think Kentucky would raise the offer? I do. I've told you this, that Kentucky had to raise the offer to get Jasper Johnson here. Dennis told me that Kentucky didn't have the highest offer, but they raised their offer, and Jasper wanted to be here, and he's happy. And that's great. Do I believe Cutter wants to be here? I do. I absolutely do. Think about it. Cutter loves his teammates. Cutter loves Kentucky. Cutter says he wants to win for Stoops. This team is together. He is a leader. But he's got questions. He's going to have questions. You know, might have a good offensive line next year. What's the play calling going to be like? Are you going to be here? I don't buy it. Matter of fact, I know it's not true. Here's the problem. Deep throats have told me it's not true. He is not committed to Stoops 100%. Hasn't done it. Now, I want you to think about the implications. The next time Cutter talks to the media, Jimmy, do you think he'll be asked about committing to Kentucky? You think?
Probably.
They're playing Louisville this weekend. Huge game for about 1,000 reasons. Cutter doesn't need this crap. He doesn't. And Matt just made it worse for Cutter. He did. Today's Tuesday, right?
Yes.
That's offense. Although they're changing it this week for Thanksgiving, so I need to look it up. I don't know if the offensive players will be available. I saw it the other day, and I need to look it up. Jimmy, can you see that they've put this kid in a bit of a bind that he doesn't need? You're saying it's semantics, but now he's saying he's committed. He's committed. By the way, if Cutter would commit today, do I think that would help other people commit? Yes. Yes. Coaches go into this, and I feel bad for coaches in a way, but you know what? That's the deal. You're making $9 million. That's the damn deal. They're re-recruiting their players. They're having ongoing conversations. Stoops said it this year. He said it last year, and he ain't the only one. You got to take care of your players coming back first, and then you got to go to the portal to get starters. And then there'll be money, what's left over for high school recruits, because Kentucky doesn't have the money of Georgia, and they're going to go to the junior college ranks, which I think is smart, by the way. Some of you I saw, I don't want to get into a tangent. Oh my gosh, they're going to junior college ranks. Excuse me? There's some great junior college players. Long as you get the right ones, and they're junior college players who could easily get their degree at Kentucky. So, you know, I saw a couple people, oh no, we're going down to the junior college level. That's a stupid comment. You get the wrong junior college player, it's no different from getting the wrong high school player or getting the wrong player in the transfer portal. So that amazed me. You're putting added pressure on Cutter. I don't think it's fair to Cutter. I don't. The next time he's around the microphone, he's going to be asked, hey, Cutter, what made you commit Kentucky? Like Matt Jones said, it's going to be asked. Jimmy, is going to be asked or not?
I would say I don't know if they would directly say what Matt Jones said, or if they would say Coach Stoops said that you're all in. What does that mean?
Either
Stoops
one would work. And
yeah.
You're right, because guess what? Depends upon the person asking the question.
Yeah.
It could be asked anyway. You're absolutely unequivocally right. I think you're putting adding pressure on the kid. I don't think he needs it. This is Louisville week. There's enough pressure. I'm a little surprised those questions haven't already been asked. And by the way, you know, when I was a kid reporter, I was totally against lying. And I became a little bit of a hypocrite changing your mind. Look, let's get away from Cutter for a second. If a kid has decided to leave and you're about to play the Louisville game and he doesn't want it out and somebody asks him, he's going to say, I'm all in. Who wants that crap that you're going in the locker room that you say you're all out? And there are a lot of times that a guy plays next to a guy and the guy next to the guy and the good friends, they don't know what's going on. And that's okay because it's private business. I really think he's put more pressure on Cutter. So here's the question to you, Jimmy. And whatever you say, I'm good with because it's your opinion. Do you believe by saying committed that Matt Jones used committed on his tweet, whereas Stoops says he's all in and wants to be here? And by the way, I do believe he's all in and wants to be here. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. And so if somebody's coming saying Cutler doesn't want to be here, I'd want to throw a pie in your face. Really. A pie, whipped cream pie. Because things get misconstrued. All right, Jimmy? In your opinion, does that put pressure on Cutter, adding a little pressure because the word commit was being used when the media is around him the next time?
No, I don't think it adds any more pressure than what Stoops says. Because to me, it's the same. You're saying the same thing with different words. And I feel like Cutter would come out and say, yeah, of course I'm committed. Now, things could change if a coordinator gets fired, if Stoops isn't here, things will change. But I think if everything is, as it is right now, I would say he's committed to next year, and he would come out and say that. So I don't think it adds anything.
I two things. One, I think he's all in, and I think he wants to be here. And here's the other thing. Let me say something on your side, Jimmy. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
How many gazillion times have we seen a player that commits to a school and they change their commitment?
Yeah, exactly.
I still think it's the wrong use of words. Still think it put added pressure on him. I still think you and I disagree, and I respect your opinion. How about that?
Yeah.
So in your humble opinion, the term dumbass doesn't fit in this particular case for Matt Jones.
No, I would not say so.
Okay. Guess what? What did I say? It's your decision.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it because it's important to me, believe it or not. I know you're going to think I'm giving you sports talk BS, but I'm not. When I use that term, if you ever disagree, you're going to make me think because we know each other pretty well. I think I know where your head's at really well. We've been together now in our 4th year, so I respect your opinion. I'm not going to use that term. Now, was I thinking about it? Yes. Yeah. But the word commit really bothered me. Now, let me suggest something else. I think it bothered other people too. Okay? I think it bothered other people too. And by the way, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I say some things at times that bothers people. I get it. So part of the thing that bothers me is that there are some articles out there that say he's back. See, and that's the part, Jimmy, that bothers me. And again, do I believe what Stoops says? He's all in and wants to be here? I absolutely believe it. Do I think he and Stoops have talked? I absolutely believe it. Do I think Mitch has talked to Cutter? Yeah. I'm assuming Mitch has talked to a whole bunch of people. As many as Stoops? No. Okay, so you're not as bothered about it as I am. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's set up the show before we go into another topic. Kendrick Haskins of Wave TV, sports director, will be joining us at 12:30. Wow. All the crap going on in Louisville. They're losing wideouts. Their best wideout won't play. I don't know if their quarterback's going to play. They have all kinds of injuries. Kentucky, I think Stoops said last time they showed there are 5 DBs at Kentucky that are hurt. There was a linebacker, can't think of the kid's name, terrific linebacker from Louisville who decommitted the other day. Something, it seems not right in Louisville. It just doesn't. Probably a product of losing 4 games in a row. Look, before they lost their first game, a lot of people thought, and me too, that they had a shot at making the playoffs. Why wouldn't you think that? It's the ACC, not as strong as the SEC, and they have literally fallen apart. Look at it this way. Jimmy, did you see, and I know you know the first part, I don't know if you follow the second part, but Cal went to Louisville and came from behind at the end to beat Louisville. I think a lot of people who follow sports know that. The Cal coach is a guy named Wilcox, who, by the way, is a really good coach. He just got his fanny fired. Just got fired. So Cal loses to Stanford. That's their arch rival. What are they, 5-10 miles apart or something like that? They hate each other. It's something like that. It's funny, 2 brainy schools. So brainy schools could not like each other. Wilcox was a big-time defensive coordinator. And if he doesn't get another head coaching job, he will become a defensive coordinator quickly. Louisville's falling apart. Now, could they get it together and rally and win Saturday? Absolutely. 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 Do I think they're going to? I do not. I don't. I don't. I don't see it. I don't feel it. Not at all. Let me go to play calling on Saturday. I don't want to say this straight out. What I'm about to say doesn't mean that I think Kentucky would have won if the play calling was different. They got skunked. They got their butts beat. Is that too strong for you, Jimmy, that they got their butts beat against Vandy? Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's being tame, I think.
Okay, what's the strongest word that you think is legitimate?
I don't know if it's so much to use the P word and say they got punked, because I know that.
Yeah, I tell you why. I'm glad you brought it up, and I'll tell you why I don't think they got punked. I don't think they got punked because they didn't quit.
Right.
And I think had they quit, or we felt that they quit, then I think that term is apropos. I think
like the Louisville game last year would have been an example of that.
Absolutely. Perfect example. Perfect example. No, I think these kids were trying. Yeah. Here's my problem with the play calling. I was absolutely baffled. Now, I knew Cutler threw a lot of passes. So I know if you want to come back and say, well, he threw all these passes. Vandy's really smart. When they see a weakness, they go for your throat. Every team doesn't do that. They're not the only team that does it, but every team doesn't do it. It's one of my favorite things in sports. If I can beat you on a down and out pass and it works and it works and it works, I want to keep on using whatever that play is until you stop it. Why stop using it? I mean, how many times have I seen like an end around really worked and that's the only time it's called during the game? What's the worst thing can happen? You call it again and it's a 5-yard loss. Gee, what if it gets another first down? I've never understood some of the lack of aggressive play calling when a coordinator finds something that works. So Vandy's throwing deep, and they're destroying Kentucky. That wideout's going to play in the NFL, neither here nor there. And I'm going, Kentucky doesn't have a choice. I don't think they have a choice. Vandy's offense is so explosive that once they start scoring, you better try, in my humble opinion, to score quickly as well. And I didn't see them attempting the deep passes, as many as I thought they should have done, to try to stay with Vandy. And again, do I think for a second that means they would have come back and won the game? Absolutely not. No. But I think what they did is they took themselves out of the game. They couldn't run, right? What was the great running game? Couldn't run. Now, here's the other part that I think too many people forget about. The kids on the field aren't stupid, okay? They're not dumb. They can tell if the other team is going deep and succeeding, and then you're not throwing it deep, at least attempting. And I think there were some people who played who weren't happy with that. And I've tried to figure out, why does Bush do it? Does he do it because he didn't think the offensive line would protect Cutler? Offensive line didn't have their best day this year, but you know what? It's good offensive line, and I would have trusted them. So it bothered me. It really, really bothered me. And I think it bothered more people than than it's going to be talked about. I'm going to switch for just a second. How many updates have we done on Reed for the last 3 weeks? Not every day, but it seems multiple times a week. And anytime there's something good, it's pretty good. So Reed is now shooting 49% from threes and 5.9 attempts. I'll say 6 per game. And a guy who's a basketball guru says he'd like to get it up to 8. Steph Curry, and trust me, I'm being careful here. I am not comparing Reed's game to Steph Curry's game. I'm just throwing numbers out. Steph Curry is shooting 40% on 12 attempts. And by the way, Curry's highest volume was a few years ago when he took 12.7 attempts. So he's got the easiest green light in the world. Now, I'm not suggesting Reed should have 12 attempts a game or that kind of thing. I just think it's interesting. He's so hot right now that his attempts and shooting percentage, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. I applaud him. David Adelman, whose dad was a great NBA coach for forever, Nuggets head coach on Reed. I think all teams would love to have a guy like that who, at any moment, can get hot and flip a game. You have to guard him. He gets hot, and it's 5 threes and a quarter. That's what this kid can do. He just adds something. Yeah. He adds something. From Pope's coach's show, he said Mo, doesn't sound like he's playing anytime soon, shot free throws and did some coaching. Jimmy, in my wildest dreams, I can't imagine he plays on Wednesday. Can't imagine. You would hope he'd be close to 100% by North Carolina next week. That's what you would hope. JQ, to me, that was the biggest news. He's playing some 3-on-3 now. I thought that was powerful. And J-Lo is practicing with non-contact. Non-contact. And I don't remember the exact way a caller put it last night to Pope, but the caller said something like, hey, Mark, what do you do to kind of tell the fans to be patient? And Pope says, don't be patient. I'm not patient. It's a paraphrase. And it's really good. Jimmy, cue up Cam Williams. I bet he starts, for obvious reasons, on Wednesday, and I wonder if that will continue. I'm going to guess no when Mo is healthy, but the potential of this young man is astronomical, and he's such a smart, thoughtful young man. And by the way, he's the only Wildcat, the only guy on the team who hasn't posted a negative in the plus-negative category. I think that's really impressive. I don't think that's a little impressive. I think that's really impressive. And I like his attitude, and I don't know if it's in one of the sound bites we're about to play. His attitude is, look, the kid's supposed to be a great shooter. Everybody that I know and everything I've heard, when you watch practice, the kid can't miss. He has not been shooting well yet. And he's very confident, said, my shot's going to fall, so what I'm trying to do, I'll do anything to get on the court. Hey, I can play defense. Hey, I can rebound. Hey, I can have assists. And so he's a little bit of a stat stuffer. I love it. I love his attitude. Jimmy, let's go to clip 13. Tell me when you have it. I got to tell you, I'm not saying it's the best soundbite I've heard about shooting. I'm telling you, it's pretty blank good. His attitude on the shot, which hasn't been there.
I'm just not making multiple shots right now. There's multiple people who also aren't making shots around the world. Curry's my favorite player. He doesn't make every three, but he's going to keep shooting them. So I got to keep shooting them, and they're going to fall. Once they fall, it's just the season's going to be way better than it is now.
The season will be better when they fall. When they fall. Not if they fall, when they fall. Clip number 14. Cam on wanting to play, so...
Can't really limit yourself to one thing. If you're not making shots, that doesn't mean you just shut down and not do anything else. I want to play, so anything you tell me to do on the court, I'm going to do it because I want to play as much as I can. So if I'm not making shots, I said it in the last week too, I can play defense, I can rebound, I can pass. Really taking advantage of the opportunity I can to help my teammates win, and it worked tonight, so just got to keep going.
Love his attitude. And he talks about being an energy guy and what it means.
What it means, I'd say just diving on the floor, loose ball, getting a block, getting a steal. Once you make that one play, the whole momentum swings and everyone wants to play hard. So just any play I can do that, I'm going to do that.
Walker Horn is a very popular walk-on. Got a lot of friends on the team. He's got friends for life, the whole thing. He gets in when I was a child and I'd watch the Boston Celtics. And Jimmy, I don't know if you know this or you couldn't have seen it. You weren't born. But Red Auerbach in the arena would literally light a cigar on the bench. And that was insulting to the other team. He'd do it in the fourth quarter. Game's over. That was his way of saying, you're done. Can you imagine lighting a cigar in an arena today?
Be awesome.
And by the way, he didn't do this once or twice. He did it a lot. And he'd sit there with his, I can picture it like it was yesterday. He'd sit there with his arm folded and then just puff on the cigar and the smoke would go all over the place. Nobody said a damn word to him. And the other teams, there were guys who later said, man, we were so ticked off. And the Boston Garden is a dumpy place to begin with. It was dumpy back then. It only made it work. Somebody lighting his cigar now. So Horn is really, really, really popular. And there's no question that one of these days, this kid's going to hit a three in garbage time late. and his teammates are rooting for him like crazy. I think the crowd will go crazy too. So this is Cam talking about, Walker, I was hoping you were going to do it.
Very excited. I pray Walker makes one of these threes. The whole building's gonna go crazy. I might dive on the floor like I did for Collins dunk. So I'm really I'm ready for that to happen. And I need Zach to get it done too.
And not only that, you know what I like? So this is what good teammates do. Mo Diabate can't play. Cam is playing in his spot. Mo is a rebounder. Mo tells Cam, you better go rebound. You're playing for me. You better go rebound. And so I think didn't Cam have 9? If I remember right, I need to look it up. I think he had 9. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm going from my memory, seeing the stats the other day. Neither here nor there. But he was kind of funny about it, saying, hey, a couple of his teammates took rebounds that he thought he should have had, but he didn't get 10. And he said he made a little bet with Mo. And he said he's going to have to run some sprints because he didn't get 10. He says, I'll get 10 the next time. Here's more on Cam on the TEAM.
I'll say that we fell into the wrong ways during that game. You can say we kind of stopped doing one of our keys, which is make plays for teammates. So we really just had a meeting with the team. It was like, we're not going to do that again. We're going to focus on the team and not really anything else. Block out any outside distractions. And we stay on the media. We always stay on the media. Regardless if you win or lose, just delete social media, so you have to worry about that.
Well, it's probably easier said than done, though, right?
It's really not. I just delete it.
He just deletes it. It's pretty good. So what he's saying, last game they lost, some school called Michigan State, that they stopped making plays for each other. They got into some bad habits. And when things get tight, you often get into bad habits. So the team met, and they talked about it, and they tried to fix it. And I think that's good. Jimmy looked it up. I was correct. He did have 9 rebounds. Would it surprise me if he gets 10 this year? No, I guarantee he's going to get 10. And I guarantee you'll get a deal for a Subaru if you want the Outback, which is a heck of a car. The Quattro Auto Group. Outback. 0% interest for 36 months. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Want to spread it out to 72 months? It is 1.9%. 0 for 36. Hey, and don't forget, I keep on talking about, we have the XC60, the Volvo, the hybrid. It's a beautiful car. It is so smooth. It is unbelievable. I told my son the other day that when I do the spots for Quantrill, that I often say that my wife loves the car more than me. He laughed. I said, no, there's something to this. It's a great car. It really is. It's a special vehicle. But what I like, we now have 3 vehicles from the Quantrill Auto Group in well over a decade, way before I was doing this show. They take care of you. They have good people, how they hire people. It's really a unique car dealership and just the company itself, and they've been taking care of people forever in Central Kentucky. The Quantrill family of dealerships, the right place to get your next Subaru, your next Cadillac, your next Volvo, and they promise to get you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks. My old friend, Kendrick Haskins, sports director of Wave TV, coming up next. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313. Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quattro family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
I'm Kathy Binkaman. Over the holiday, there was an attempted fraud attack. My personal banker, Mary Rose, and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials, including Mentos or Trident Vibes bottle pack gum for $3.99 or Uncle Ray's potato chips 3-ounce bags for $1.99.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pump and Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Feels like all the ones I've been involved in. You know, it just really does, because it's important. You know, it's important. This is where I've lived for a long time. You know, as I mentioned, whether you like it or not, I'm a Kentuckian now, right? I mean, I've been here as long as anywhere I've been. You know, I mean, I left home at 17, haven't been back, so I mean, this is home, and I care, and so you know, it's you know, a rivalry that it's important to both teams, and it's important to the state, and it's important to your fans, so it'll be important to our team.
There you have Mark Stoops yesterday in his press conference talking about the rivalry. Interesting. He says, I'm a Kentuckian now. Like, you want to fire me, you're firing a Kentuckian now. He's not getting fired, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. What do you think of the fact that he said, I'm a Kentuckian?
It's a weird point in history to say it, I guess. You know, I would have thought he would have said that, you know, a while ago, but whatever.
If he has, I don't remember. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kendrick Haskins, dear old friend, outstanding award-winning sports director of Wave TV in Louisville with his no-filter haircut. Oh, my gosh, the reflection off the top of your head. If anybody watching on YouTube, if you dip your head down, I might need sunglasses. Oh, man, why did you do that? Okay,
you shaved too, though. Look at you, all trim.
Well, no. It's growing back. I every 6 months I get my skin checked because I've had some problems, and I totally shave. My doctor said you can see through stuff. But I don't want to take a chance, so I shave, and it'll come back always wider than ever. So shut up. and I got lucky this time. It's the first time in years I didn't have anything.
So about 3 months from now, you look like the abominable snowman again.
Yeah, I'll probably uglier even before then. You know, I tried to go a whole 6 months in between appointments to not shave, and I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, I got to 5 months, and it starts itching. So
that starts itching on me in like a couple of days. I don't know how you grow it out much longer than that.
I don't know how the guys with the beards down here, and I've talked to a guy where I've got my glasses. He's got a really good dude. He's kind of like an old hippie, and his beard is like almost to his belly button. He said, "How do you eat soup?" He said, "I take my beard." He flips. He said, "I tie it up and go to the side." That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
But he said, "I like my beard." Yeah, I couldn't do that. Okay,
teach us what.
What the hell is wrong with Louisville? Okay, so when they were 7-0, I thought they had a great shot at making the playoffs. I'm sure you did too. They've lost games in some really weird ways, in ways they should have won. The quarterback, I think, threw the team under the bus. Your wide receivers are dropping like flies. Everybody's got injuries now. Stoops said last night that they're down 5 DBs for Kentucky, so you know that kind of thing. But are there problems inside Louisville now because they've lost 4 in a row? You hear murmurs, but you're close to it, and I'm not. Do they have some issues like a lot of teams would? In other words, what I'm saying, if you lose 4 games in a row, you got issues. I don't care who you are in today's world. I'm assuming, also from what I've heard, they have some problems. Agree or disagree? You're the authority. I'm not.
I haven't really heard too much about dissension in there. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some back and forth because the defense is playing so well and the offense is struggling, but they've got injuries. I mean, they're down to literally one healthy running back. I think they're going to list 2 on Saturday, but one of them has a dislocated shoulder. And then Chris Bell's out for the game. He's their number 1 wide receiver. Colin Lacey got hurt in the last game. Miller Moss didn't play the last game because he injured his foot in practice. And so the offense is completely depleted. I think they're going to try to trot Miller Moss back out there on Saturday. It's kind of sounded like they're going to try it, but they still said they're going to play multiple quarterbacks regardless. And so, yeah, it's just a mash unit over on their offense. The defense
So-
is relatively healthy. And the crazy thing is the offensive line is relatively healthy. It's the skill players that are all dropping like flies.
One of those weird coincidences that happens to all football teams, is what you're saying.
Yeah, especially with the running backs, because I mean, Isaac and Duke, they both dealt with leg injury, because I think Isaac's injury came during a bye week, and so their injuries have been. I mean, most of them have been in the game, but the running back injuries, it's leg injuries. It's all legs and ankles, and it's just really odd that how that's happened. But it's just football is a funny sport, and it's just one of those things.
Coincidence, or are people questioning the training staff?
Nobody's really questioning the training staff, because, like I said, most of the injuries happen in the game. So when you can see what happens, as opposed to when it's mostly practice, it's different. And when you can see when they get hurt, then you get an understanding of what's going on.
Right or wrong, this is a feeling with the rumor mill. So when Louisville's undefeated, you're starting to hear Brom's name out there before the name's really picked up, in the rumor mill. Now, at least I don't hear anything. Has that changed? Is there any thought process that Brom won't be there next year because it'll be some bigger job, as everybody is waiting on Kiffin to make his move, and then things will happen from there?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people were like, well, once they lost those 3 games in a row, especially the way they lost them, like people around here just think the rest of the nation's probably cold on them. So that, nobody's really fearful right now. I think if they were winning, they would be more fearful. But after those losses, especially the way they lost, I mean, because they basically just one dumb thing, especially the Clemson game. The Clemson game was ridiculous how they lost that game with 3 missed kicks. And like when they missed that extra point in the first half, I was like, that's going to come back and bite. And and it did. And then they had one drive where they were down in Clemson territory and got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because the offensive lineman shoved one of Clemson's defensive linemen after the whistle. I mean, it's blatant. The guy did flop, but the ref is going to call that every time. And so that's when the Miller Moss made the comment about the discipline on the team. And so those things have been going on. So so people aren't as worried about him leaving right now.
Okay, so most teams can go shoulda, coulda, woulda. Kentucky's got a couple this year. Louisville has, would you say, at least 3 this year? Shoulda, coulda.
3 of their 4 losses, yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So my point is this. If you're Penn State, you can't sell, no disrespect to Jeff Brom. He's a hell of a coach.
Well, no, you're right.
But you can't sell him to Penn State fans. Let's say Louisville had 1 loss, my guess is because, and I again, no disrespect to Brom, I promise you, there's a bunch of people that have already turned the job down. How many? I don't know, but I do know it's pretty common knowledge that a bunch of people turn the job down. If Louisville had only 1 loss, I could easily see his name being pretty hot for a school like Penn State. You agree, or you think I'm nuts?
No, I agree. I mean, if they had 1 loss, I mean, there was whispers about Florida at one point, especially after they beat Miami. And so, yeah, it's if it was 1 loss, it would be a totally different conversation. But right now, with the 3 losses in a row, 4 overall, yeah, it's that a lot of that worry has kind of ceased around here.
Okay, I have a theory about Brom. You know him only a million times better than me. I think he's a little different, and I say this with total respect. He's home. His family's around him. I don't think he's motivated for money as a lot of other coaches are. And by the way, if you're motivated money, God bless, more power to you. I'm not ripping anybody. He drives the car, he's 25 years old, whatever.
Yeah, his son drives a better car than he does.
I would hope. But the point is, you got your family around. You're a local kid. You're loved. And so you never know, but I never, what is he making at Louisville? I've heard different things. Give me a guess.
I'm guessing probably around 30. I guess that's a really wild guess.
Per year.
Oh, per year, he's probably making 10 a year, maybe 11. Because
you think he's making more than Stoops?
Well, maybe not. No, probably not, because I know how much they were paying other people. But I mean, they did have to open up the checkbook for him.
Yeah, and they should.
So
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Let me put it this way. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot that way. I was just trying to play a little game. Let me play the game, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know anything about numbers.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's probably not making more than Stoops in the SEC. Probably.
Okay, let's say he's making 6. And by the way, again, some Louisville fans say, I'm being disrespectful because you're saying he's making less. Just stop it. I'm just throwing out a number. Let's say he's making 6. Okay, and there's a job out there that would pay him 9 a year. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think that's enough for him to go.
Not only that, but I have a separate opinion. My opinion is the only way, first of all, if something happens with administration or stuff like that, they got to love his fanny. I mean, how do you not like Jeff Brownwood? He does, he stands for everything right. But the point is this, to me, the only way he would leave, if all of a sudden administration turned on him, which would shock the hell out of both of us, but if there was a school where he thought he had a chance to win a national championship more, to me, that would be the only caveat. I go one more, then I'm going to shut up and I want you to rant. I actually believe it's easier to win. I know a lot of people think this is nuts. It's easier to win the national championship from the ACC than it is the SEC. Because if you put together a great team that would be really special in the SEC, odds are you're not going to lose as many games. And so I actually think when people say, well, he's not in the SEC, he needs to be able to win that. No, let's put it this way. If he's undefeated in the ACC, is he in the playoffs?
Yep.
And once you're in the playoffs, right? So to me, it would only be if he doesn't think he can ever win a national championship at Louisville. Now, some people might say that's stupid. They'll never win. I get that. That's Kentucky fans. I don't know what he's going to do. If he gets a great court, if he gets the next Cutter Bowley, guess what? Was he going to win more games? Yes. But the point is, I don't think he's going anywhere, and I know nothing unless he doesn't think he can win a championship at Louisville and some other school, whether they offer more money or not. And obviously be more money. He's got a shot at winning a national championship. Let me shut up and you speak.
No, I'm with you. I think Florida would scare you more if you're Louisville, because the recruiting is so much easier. I mean, because you living in Florida, you just walk out to the driveway and there's a 4-star recruit just walking down riding his bike or something. And so that part. So the winning the national championship part, as far as that goes, because of the recruiting aspect of it, yeah, and it also depends on how much you can get at NIL these days. But as him being home, I don't think he's going to make a money decision. I mean, he actually could have came to Louisville years ago and didn't. He stayed at Purdue, and it wasn't a money thing. He just didn't feel like he was ready to come back home yet. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a guy that left the Big Ten for the ACC, and so. And like I said, you don't necessarily have to be in the SEC to win a national championship. SEC hadn't won a national championship in a few years now. And so,
which the Big Ten likes to bring up all the time, and they have the right to do that, right?
They have every right to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Big Ten itself is the most top-heavy conference in the country itself. And so this is one of those years where because a lot of years I'm like, when the SEC is taunting, oh, we're the best conference, I'm like, no, you're not. But this year they are. And so him having a better chance of winning the national championship. The only thing is, though, it is harder at the ACC because, yeah, if you're undefeated, you get in. But if you have 1 or 2 losses, they're already questioning if you should be in the playoff. I mean, look at Miami. They're questioning if they should be in the playoff, and they beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's a shoo-in for the playoff. And so there's that part of it, too.
I don't talk Notre Dame, but you just made me think of something. Notre Dame's getting screwed. I mean, they don't move up the teams, and they keep on winning. They keep on.
Look who they're beating, though. They beat Syracuse. I mean, their best win of the season is probably at Pitt. They haven't beaten anybody. The 2 teams they played this year, they lost to. They lost at Texas A&M. They lost at Miami. They haven't beaten anybody. They were just, but they're ahead of Miami because Miami had 2 losses.
Okay. I think they should move up. And by the way, I'm not in particular, you know how it is. You're either a Notre Dame fan or not. I don't give a rat's either way. I'm surprised. By the way, I don't think they should be number 1. I don't think they should be in the top 5. But they keep on winning, and I thought they should move up a little bit. But as long as they get in the playoffs, it really doesn't.
As long as you get in the playoffs, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Notre Dame anti-apologist you are. I never thought I would say that. Kendrick Haskins kind enough to join us. Okay, so I started the show this way, and I want your humble opinion. Notice I said humble. Matt Jones put on Twitter that Mark Stoops said on radio that Cutter Bowley has committed to be at Kentucky in 2026. That made me go back and listen to the entire Stoops show. And what Stoops says, that Cutter is all in and wants to be here. And let me throw something out that I want you to comment. Now, do I believe that Cutter is all in? I absolutely do, by the way. Does he love Kentucky? He absolutely does. Does he love his teammates? Absolutely. Is he a leader? Absolutely. Is he loved by his teammates? Yes. Does he want to win for Stoops? Yes. Here's the but. Now, Jimmy didn't think he was much difference between the two. And so we disagreed, and you'll probably disagree with me. I think there's a big difference between committed and wants to be, and here's the thing. You've heard the same things I have, that they paid. I'm using Carson Beck as an example. Miami supposedly paid him $4 million this year. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why would you commit now when offers will only continue to go up and 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 up? Now, okay, if he throws 5 picks against Louisville on Saturday, will that diminish that? Absolutely, because everything's what have you done for me lately? Everybody knows that. But why would you commit now when you know offers are coming in? Am I suggesting he doesn't want to be here? No. Am I saying he wants to be here? Yes. But let's say, and I know nothing, I'm throwing nebulous numbers out.
Yeah, right.
Let's say Kentucky offers $1.5 million. Somebody else who's a better program, sorry, Kentucky, better program, offers $3.5, $4 million. 2 things will happen. One, I do think Kentucky's offer will go up. Will it go up enough? How the hell would I know? How would I know? But, you know, if they go up to $2 million in a school that can be in the top 20 all the time, offers 3.5, I don't blame her for leaving. And somebody would say, you're a Kentucky and you're supposed to be here. I go, shut up. This is business. You can't walk away from $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. If it's close, that's something else. And then where do you want to play? So to me, here's my last thing. What I honestly believe, the next time he's in front of the media, somebody's going to say something to this lines. Hey, you committed to Kentucky. Congratulations. What made you commit? Or something like that. You're putting the kid on the spot for no reason at all. In other words, you know, you want to say, yeah, I'm all in, but coaches, I'm sure Brom's doing the same thing as Stoops and all these other they're talking to the kids who wants to come back. They're probably finding out some kids who really don't want to come back. There are some kids who are saying they're going to come back and they're not going to come back. There's some kids who do want to come back, but somebody makes an offer that is so much bigger that maybe the school doesn't match. You know all this.
Yeah, it's all negotiation, especially at this time of the year.
Amen. So the point is, I think using the word commit, which is not what he said, and I know isn't true. I think there's a difference between all in and commit. Jimmy didn't think it was that big of a deal. What say you, Kendrick Haskins?
I mean, like you said, he may be all in, but until he actually commits, because like you said, once this game is over on Saturday, the calls are going to come flood again. I mean, bigger programs are going to come after Cutter Bowley. They just are, especially when they're losing their quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a call from Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a call from whoever takes over at Florida or LSU. And so there's going to be a negotiation, and whether he's committed or not is, like you said, you're kind of putting the kid under, throwing the kid under the bus before you really need to. The good thing is, though, that question may come after the game on Saturday, regardless. We're not going to hear from them anymore. Unless if they win, we may hear from them a bowl week. But after that, we ain't gonna hear from them no more. Same with Louisville. We're not gonna hear from either one of these teams anymore because they're done. The season's over. And so unless they go to a bowl game and we hear from them, then that's the only time we're gonna hear from them. If Kentucky loses that game and they don't go to a bowl, you're not gonna hear from Cutter Bowley until media day next year, wherever he's at.
Okay, so in your humble opinion, Matt Jones saying commit, Stoops saying all in, is there a difference? And is this not fair to this kid the next time he deals with the media?
It is kind of semantics. It is kind of just how it's presented. I mean, I guess you can. I mean, if I were Matt, I would have just gone directly with the direct quote, because you do kind of leave it open-ended if he does leave. So yeah, I would have just gone straight with Stoops' quote was and just left it at that.
And by the way, do I think he wants to be here? Yes.
Yeah, he's a Kentucky kid through and through. His family's all Kentucky. They've all been here. They've been living in Kentucky. You know, saying we've talked about it before. How his parents are athletes and played in Kentucky and all that stuff. And so yeah, he's a Kentucky boy through and through. But money talks. Grass might be blue, but that money green. And so, and I would not blame the kid whatsoever. Go get your money.
I think there'll be some kids across the country who are like Cutler that will end up leaving that nobody thought they would leave. And first of all, everybody should do whatever they want to do, that kind of thing.
Oh gosh, yeah. I laugh because I literally was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. I was like, all these people talk about how they hate the NBA, and I'm like, at least in the NBA, your favorite player is going to be with the team for at least 2 to 3 years. And like in college, it's every year. They leave every year. So, it's not much difference. It might even be worse on the college end.
I always say I'll bet you soda pop. I don't drink soda anymore. I'll bet you. Okay.
A high-end water.
All right. I'll bet you a high-end water. And I don't know if we're ever going to find out. I'm going to guess somehow it'll leak. You know how things leak?
Yeah.
I will bet you a high-end water. Louisville comes after Cutler.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. I mean,
by the way, and I'm not suggesting that he's going there, but not for a second. I'll go one step further. I think Louisville will offer a ton of money to try to get Cutler, and I think what that will do will make Cutler very rich.
Even if it's just to drive up the price for him. I know they do have a high school kid coming in that they're excited about, but yeah, just to drive the price up on your rival, it's worth doing it. If you don't even plan on really giving them that money just to drive the price up on Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky was really excited about a Caden Lewis, and all of a sudden Lowe shows up, and Lewis says, I'm not going to be a backup, and I'm going somewhere else. So we've seen that story all the time. He was not going to be a backup to anybody. His dad wouldn't allow it, and that's why he's starting at Villanova and playing really well. And by the way, I didn't blame him.
No, I tell you what, I watched Tennessee for the first time yesterday. They're really good. Ament and Gillespie back there in that backcourt, they're fun to watch.
Yeah. How about Alabama?
Yeah, I couldn't believe they got beat like they did last night. But that Phylon kid, I watched him in the end of that Illinois kid. Where he took over at the end of that Illinois game was amazing. But they fell apart last night. I was surprised by that.
Phylon will be a better pro than he is a college player.
Yeah, he's got to work on the defensive end. But yeah, he's very, very.
I don't think he can spell defense yet. Would you agree?
Yeah, because as great as he was down the stretch of the Illinois game, he gave up a lot of drives to the guy he was guarding. So, but he is a really, really fun player to watch. Their backcourt, Alabama's backcourt, I put that up against just about anybody in the country.
Offensively.
Yeah, offensively,
I agree 100%. Okay, so Louisville loses Saturday. What will be the talk around town? Kentucky loses Saturday. What would be the talk around town? Kentucky wins Saturday. What's the talk around town? Take a look at the variables and how, as the way sports has changed, everything's week to week.
Yeah. If Kentucky loses, then the whole fire Stoops thing will fire up again around here. And I'm like, he's not going anywhere. He shouldn't go anywhere. If Louisville loses, a lot's going to be placed at Brom and at Miller Moss, even if he doesn't play, because this fan base is really out on Miller Moss. And so, if Louisville does win, it's like, okay, and then we go to the bowl game, and who's going to play? It's basically going to look like a JV game out there, and so. I don't know. I think everybody, for the most part, people around here have kind of just moved on to basketball. After I think last week, with both of them getting blown out last week on the road, I think both fan bases like, you know what, it's basketball season around here, so they kind of moved on to basketball.
In March, who's going to be deemed a better basketball team, Kentucky or Louisville?
We got to see what Quayton does when he comes in. I got to see it. I got to see that first.
Yeah, that's fair. And he's playing 3-on-3 now.
Yeah.
And my guess, just a guess, I know nothing all along, has been if the kid is running up and down the court in a game in mid-January, then that's a blessing, because when he comes back, if he comes back, but when he comes back, you got to give the kid almost a month to get in what I call game shape. I don't.
Yes.
He's lifting weights. There's videos that they said every night he's doing these things with one leg I couldn't do with 4 legs. And that's fine, but it ain't running up and down the court.
Yes.
And so you give him 2 weeks minimum, but I'm saying a month.
A month. It'll take a month. It'll be a month to get his sea legs and get acclimated, for them to get used to him being out there, because it's going to be a totally different way of playing when you bring him out there. And what's that starting lineup would look like? It's going to take time for Pope to adjust his rotations and all that stuff. So it's going to take a good month before everything. And even in a month, even in 3 months, he's still not going to be 100%. I mean, because it's too soon. And so it's because I think I always say it, Adrian Peterson kind of skewed everybody's opinion on how fast you come back from an ACL, because he came back so fast. So a lot of people think everybody can do it. It's different from every person and body type, and he's much bigger than Adrian Peterson was. And so I don't think you're gonna get 100% Quayton's all season, but if you can get 75, 80, 85% of him from what we've seen and what this Kentucky team needs, I think he's going to be a great fit.
In left field, never heard of this kid. Nyer, Nyer Daniels. He's an offensive lineman, supposed to be really good. He's a backup. He was arrested after allegedly driving more than 150 miles per hour while fleeing police in Commerce, Georgia. He had a couple of his siblings in the car. And I don't know how in the world, I don't know what the number is. I should have looked it up. But it's ridiculous how many speeding tickets that were obtuse like this. I'm not talking about a 70-mile-an-hour zone and somebody's going 90. 150 miles an hour. I don't know how many tickets they've had from kids who've had over 100 miles an hour. It's been a lot. How does Kirby Smart not take more heat? And he makes like $13 million a year. So if Kirby had lost 4 games this year, I honestly believe he would take some heat. But because he's got a shot at a national championship, the hypocrisy. And apparently, what I understand, they've brought people in to talk to their kids about drinking and driving. I just said driving. I'm not saying in this case it's drinking and driving. That they have had people come in to talk to their kids about drinking and driving, like every school does. I'm sure Brom does it. I'm sure, Stoops. It's just normal to bring people in to talk to your kids. How does Georgia get away with this, having another player after so many players have this issue?
And so many. And they had that fatal accident after the championship. I mean, and it's gotten, now it's like either a punchline or it's just like, oh, it's happening at Georgia again. Like it's become common now. And I'm like, what is going on at this program? Why is this not being investigated more by the NCAA? Like, why is your program so out of control? And I mean, all of that sounds like lack of institutional control in any other situation, because it happens. It feels like they get at least 2 or 3 of these a season. And I don't understand why nothing is being done about it down there.
I can't believe it either. Last one. I really enjoyed watching the Kentucky-Louisville women's basketball game. I had no idea who was going to win.
I had a good feeling coming in.
Waltz has done an unbelievable job at Louisville. He really has. He's been one of the best coaches in the last 20 years. He just hasn't won a national championship. I mean, the guy's in the Hall of Fame. There's no question about it. The toughness by both teams, the discipline by both teams, the defense by both teams, the scrappiness of both teams. That was a hell of a basketball game. And I'm not saying because Kentucky won. I mean, had Kentucky lost 72-62 and played the same way, I'd say the same. It was a great basketball game. My point is, women's basketball has changed tremendously in the last 10 years. I enjoy watching women's basketball today more than ever before. It is amplified tremendously. The quality of play has improved. Somebody came at me about 20 years ago. Well, why don't you watch women's basketball as good as men? And I said at the time, and I stand by what I said, because the quality isn't as good. And that ticked off some women. Well, guess what? The quality wasn't as good. I've been following the NBA since 1960. Now, my friend, quality is really good. I mean, it's really good, and it's fun. They're getting a ton of respect. Are they getting enough respect?
It's a slow build. But the leap that it's taken over the last 5 or 6 years is definitely they're getting the respect that they're finally deserving. Because it's gotten to be so much parity now. It's like, it was just UConn, and before that it was just Tennessee, and so now when we get down to the Sweet 16 in women's college basketball, we don't know who's going to win the national championship. This year, it feels like it's UConn's to lose because they're just so overwhelming. But over the last few years, I mean, South Carolina's had their run. I mean, you had Caitlin Clark and everything she was doing when she was in college. I mean, you've had so many teams that it wasn't just one team, and like the talent has been dispersed across the country. So you have a lot more parity. So yeah, a lot more people into it because hey, my local team's in it now. I mean, Louisville's had their Final Four runs. Kentucky has a really good team, and they went out and spent money, brought in a great coach, and they had. I knew they were going to win that game because they had the best player on the floor in Clara Strack. So Kentucky's going to make a run, and so more and more people, more and more fan bases are starting to watch now because their team now has a shot, and it's great for women's college basketball.
It is great. And Key had 4 block shots, 17 points, and 8 rebounds. And Tony Morgan, I thought she'd be good, but she's even better than I thought. Last question, and I have no clue. Does Louisville have the same kind of money to pay their players as they did 5-6 years ago? Have other teams caught up to Louisville?
I think their money is about the same, but I think other people have increased their budgets. So I think they've kind of been passed up a little bit. They were able to keep the majority of their big players from last season. And so like they kept their best player in Taj. And by being able to keep her, and were able to keep McKinley Randolph, who that's Zach Randolph's daughter. But then to be able to keep those two, they lost Gilbert Arenas' daughter, but for the most part, they kept most of their roster together that weren't seniors, which that's a win in itself these days. And so they were able to keep their players. And so that was a big win for Louisville in the offseason.
Zach Randolph, smoothest 6'8" forward who couldn't jump and was chunky, but could score from anywhere, maybe in the last 50 years in the NBA.
You gotta love Z-Bo.
Oh, man. He would score, couldn't jump worth a lick.
Nope,
not very athletic, but smooth hands.
Yeah.
Smooth hands.
Really strong hands, and he's just skilled around the basket.
I'd ask you for a prediction, but since you live in Louisville, you don't want to do that, right?
I think Kentucky's going to win.
You're getting quiet on me.
I do. Just because I like to see whoever has the best player on the field. I think Cutler Bowley is probably going to probably a little bit by default because there's so many injuries. But I think Cutler Bowley is going to be the best player on the field, so I think Kentucky's going to win.
Bless you, brother. Appreciate you. All the best. Happy turkey time to you and yours. Eat too much.
Will I see you on Saturday?
No. You're so upset.
I know, I am.
That's a road trip for me now.
It's an hour and a half.
Like I said, it's a road trip.
It's a very early road trip. noon kicks.
Yes. As a matter of fact, today's my last day. I'm taking the rest of the week off.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same.
I know. But see, you're a big shot. I can get away with it. I shouldn't have said that.
The big shot's the one who's taking off. Us peons are the ones that's working the rest of the week.
Jimmy, cut his mic off. Cut his mic off. This is like Sean Woods the other day. He got the last shot in too. Get off my phone. Hey, bless you, brother. You're the best.
I'll see you soon.
That smirk. Wipe that smirk off. You're really proud of yourself, aren't you? Yeah. You're going to call Kent Taylor and tell him, hey, I did Cutler show and I singed him at the end, aren't you?
I can't wait to see Sean again.
Oh, no. Goodbye. Hey, see you, Kendrick. Kendrick has great. Wave TV, good friend. Oh, the conversations we've had at games and derbies and all that kind of stuff. Tell you what, this is not a conversation. This is reality. Terry Page, Terry Page. A great licensed massage therapist in Lexington Thursday and Friday, in Butler, Kentucky Monday and Tuesday. Text her to get an appointment. She's done wonders for me. 859-373-0578. 859-373-0578. Use my name. Please use my name. Terry Page. Cisco Bryant, the great Cisco Bryant, whose son is having a big-time year. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials, including Old Trapper Jerky 4-ounce bags for $8.99 and assorted Snickers standard size candy bars, 2 for $3.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pump and Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quattro family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
My name is Terry Schultz, CEO for the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity. Republic Bank has really been a game changer. They have invested not only financially, but time to really listen so that we can move our mission forward. What I like about Republic Bank is they've come in asking, what are your needs? And I don't know that you get that any other place.
That's Terry's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
W223CV Lexington.
ESPN Sports Radio 1392.5, WLXG Lexington, and LM Communications Broadcasting Station. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
Welcome back, Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM. Jimmy, I know you're really happy now, because Cisco Bryant, great player for Kentucky back in the day, is not only wearing a 49ers cap, as Jimmy and Cisco are the two biggest 49er fans in the entire Commonwealth. You also got a sweatshirt on, too, man. And I don't want to know about your underwear or socks. We're not going there, but you are decked out. You get decked out just for Jimmy?
Well, I'm going to say yes since he's producing the show, so... But no, I usually wear 49er stuff the day after they play. If they win, that's the only time I wear it. If they lose, I will wear 49er stuff sometime else in the week.
Diehard 49er fan.
Yes.
How would you rate your son, Ty, and the season he's having as we're talking to Cisco Bryant, one tough football player for Jerry Claiborne back when covered wagons had just finished in the 1980s.
Wow. I got nothing for that. Well, I think he's played very well. He's tackling, open field tackle. He's ranked in open field tackling. He's ranked in interceptions. He's ranked in and what I love is when I'm around people and they're watching him in the stands and they just love his hustle. He's constantly going 100 miles an hour and understanding the game. So I would rank it very high, very high.
Going to make a lot of money as a pro one of these days, and then you can retire, right?
Well, that'd be the thing. That will be the thing.
This has been a nutty year in football. Louisville
Yes.
starts out undefeated. They have totally fallen apart. They're really banged up. Stoops said last night on his coach's show they're down 5 DBs. Everybody's got injuries. It's just the way it is. And then it looked like the world was falling apart for Kentucky. They went 3 in a row, and they got skunked pretty bad by Vandy. What did you feel as to what happened on Saturday? And I don't think they got punked because I think the Kentucky kids were trying. I think they just got their fannies beat. And there are some games and matchups where defense has been really good, and some games it's not. But then again, Pavia is beating the crap out of everybody. How do you look at it?
Well, I looked at it as, and what Coach Stoops is talking about, you can't lose five DBs and go up against that type of quarterback. And especially you lose three starters. And then all of a sudden, here comes two freshmen coming in. They played a great game. They really did. It just says a few times, they got beat. But that happens when you just get put in, and you come in on certain spots. If you're a freshman or a redshirt freshman, you're not in there for 86 plays or 80 plays or whatever. I mean, they had. So I just thought it was one of those things that happened, and Vandy got us at the right time, if you will, based on injuries. I really mean that.
I think Pavi can play in the NFL. I've thought it forever. There are short guys who play in the NFL. He's strong. His accuracy is crazy. You think I'm nuts?
I don't know. NFL is just a different level. I think he's a superstar college player, and I think he probably could play in the NFL, but not look to play the first few years that he leaves Vandy. Because he is a very talented young man, very talented young man.
You know, the guy who plays quarterback for the 49ers and finally got paid in the contract, I loved him. And he wasn't drafted. And he has all the intangibles besides a great touch.
He was drafted. He was the last guy taken.
Last guy drafted. Excuse me. I knew that. My bad. Thank you for correcting me. Last guy drafted, and I know he's bad last night. He threw 3 picks. That had one of those nights. He's very, very accurate normally, and he's got all the intangibles. I think Pavi has all the intangibles, but that's me. Do I think he's going to get drafted high? Hell no. No.
Well, I think what people got to realize again in the NFL is what team drafts you. I thought Purdy did a very good job of going to the 49ers, or the 49ers picking him. He fits their system. And that's the biggest thing to me that comes with in the NFL if you're a quarterback.
How do you look at the Louisville game Saturday?
I look at a win. I really do. I look at the kids don't want to stop playing. They still they playing hard. The biggest thing is we can't have turnovers. Louisville, they took it on the chin a couple of weeks in a row, but they're a very good team. I mean, like you said, they were highly ranked, and they're a very good team.
Kendrick Haskins, who was just on, my buddy who's sports director of Wave TV, says they really only have one running back who's healthy. He said they're going to list 2, and the other one's got a bad shoulder. And their wideouts are dropping like crazy. You don't know if the first-string quarterback is going to play or not. He had a bad foot. I mean, nobody's healthy this time of year, but it seems like Louisville, I'm not saying they folded their tent, but if they get down 2 touchdowns, I could see them folding their tent, because I thought Kentucky folded their tent last year against Louisville. And if Kentucky gets up, I think the Louisville kids are going to do the same kind of thing, because they really have fallen apart after I thought they had a great shot making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the point, AC. Louisville is not ending the way they thought they would, but injuries is part of it, like you just said. But again, you got to just fight harder. You got to do a little bit more than what you're used to, especially when you lose certain players that is a big quality for your offense or in defense.
The way Stoops was talking yesterday, he ain't going anywhere. Having conversation with Mark Hill, who is Mitch's right-hand man, who does so many of these contracts and stuff like that, because he's got a lot of assistant coaches who are up on contracts and talking about recruiting. I think it's interesting. He brings up money now, the last 2 press conferences in a row. And last week, when the money thing came up, UKPR tried to poo-poo the conversation. He said, no, we're having a good conversation. He wanted to talk about money. And he says he appreciates that, they're trying to get him more money, but he's also trying to be logical that he doesn't have the money to spend on some of the high school recruits like some other teams have, that he has to win next year, and he's got to bring in players to help him win next year. So they're looking at JC players. Right now, it looks like they're going to have a tiny high school class, and I can see them getting between 6 and 12 new starters from the portal. Football has changed, but hearing him talk, unless yesterday's press conference was totally disingenuous, he's back. He knows he's back. He's acting like he's back. He's doing all the things that head coaches have to do now for their team next year. So let's put it this way. If Kentucky unless Kentucky loses like they did against Vandy, I can't imagine my wildest dreams that he's not back next year.
Well, I can't see him not being back. I really don't. And like you said, he's doing everything. Remember the last time we was on, I was like, if he's here, then he's got to coach it up. If he's leaving, then he's leaving. But the guys that's going to return next year and the guys that he wants, they've got to know that you're going to be here. They got to know that you're going to be here, and I feel like he's going to be here as well.
Stoops said on his show last night that Cutter is, quote, all in, wants to be here. I absolutely buy it. Absolutely buy it. I think Cutter loves his teammates. Cutter loves Kentucky. Cutter said he wants to win for Stoops. I mean, it's all positive, but Matt Jones on his Twitter account said he committed. And I'm told he hasn't committed, but I do believe he wants to be here. And I just keep on saying this. I know nothing about these numbers. I'm throwing out nebulous numbers. I'll say that right away. Kentucky offers $1.5 million. Let's say Miami offers $4 million. Either Kentucky's going to pay more, or wouldn't blame me, wouldn't bother me if the kid left, because first of all, everybody should do what they want to do. That's number one. And two, you can't walk away from millions of dollars. Now, if he gets offered tons more, which I believe is going to happen, Kentucky's going to have to ante up more. But I don't think he's committed. In fact, I know he hasn't committed. He does want to be here. I absolutely unequivocally believe that. But there's going to be some places where money changes your attitude. Do you agree with that? And does it bother you when the word commit comes out when it's not true? Also, now, the next time he speaks to the media, people are going to stick a mic in his face. So you committed, huh? It's putting undue pressure on this kid, I think. I think it was the wrong thing for Matt to do, and I think he made a mistake.
Well, I didn't hear that from Matt, because I didn't hear his show this morning.
No, I'm reading. I'll read the tweet for you word for word. This is word for word. Mark Stoops says on radio that Cutter Boley has committed to be at UK, excuse me, to be exact, in 2026. Stoops says in his coach's show, all in, wants to be here. Now, Jimmy thinks it's just semantics. I don't. I think there's a big difference, and I think you're putting pressure on the kid that the kid doesn't need.
Well, I'm going to agree with Jimmy, not because he's a Niner, but
oh yeah, you are. look at the smile on Jimmy's face.
I think the biggest thing is a lot of times it came with Ty, the same situation. He wants to be here. The money does make a difference, and I'm not saying it doesn't, but when this is all said and done, I mean, where's your legacy at? Well, where is your passion of your university? Because eventually you're going to have to stop playing this game. And I get the money. I'm not saying don't take the money, but I am saying, which is a contradiction on words, I am saying that either you're going to get a jacket, or you're going to retire, or you're going to get injured, or they're going to tell you you're cut. That's sports. So when you get done playing, where's your legacy? Where's your home base? Because I'm just saying. So if the commit word, I'm agree with Jimmy on that. I think it's just a word.
Okay. Disagree with you. Disagree with Jimmy. I think Kendrick kind of disagreed with me too. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I got one word for all of you. It's all good. It's all good. Stoops says the team is better this year, and I buy that. And for people to say that it can't get any better next year, I don't buy that. I really don't. The guys improved the team. Let's see who stays. Let's see who they can retain. Let's see who they can bring in. Look, you don't get enough players, and they could not win 3 games next year. They bring in the right players around Cutter. Could they win 8, 9, 10 games next year if they get enough more talent? Yeah, they can. I mean, and the truth is, at this point, nobody knows. But to say that some of the fans saying out there, well, you know, it's going to be all the same. I'm sorry. The guy won 10 games 2 out of 3 years. You got a quarterback. You got a big-time quarterback who's only going to get better. And it would seem to me it'll be easier recruiting more wideouts. It'll be easier recruiting more offensive linemen. It'll be easier, although they got some good young tight ends, to recruit another tight end or two. This has become now, because of Cutter, a much more attractive place for NIL kids. So in other words, if it's between 2 schools and it's close, but you think you have a better shot of either playing or performing here versus somebody else, could I see Kentucky getting some kids for a little less money? Absolutely. Tons less? Absolutely not. Does that make sense?
That makes very good sense. But I think that the biggest thing that I want I'm hoping, and I don't know. Cutler returns, but we've got to also look to replace the two running backs because to me they've done a tremendous job of running hard, doing what they're supposed to do, and that's a big deal. So I just hope that a lot of the players, I hope all of them that return, and especially that receiving core. That's a very good young receiving core it's learning the game. They learning each other because if Cutler leaves, he's got to learn those other receivers again. He's got to learn what this receiver's 12-yard out route is, this curl. And that makes a big difference in that quarterback's decision making, I think, because it does make a difference on how you run it. And I'm not trying to throw it up, but the 49ers is the same thing. I mean, again, Purdy's got to get used to his receivers again, on which route to run and the whole 9 yards. I just think that's a hard job for quarterbacks to do besides doing reps, doing games.
If you could change one thing about UK football, what would it be?
What's the definition of change?
Something you'd like to see them work on and improve?
I just wish they just throw the ball to the tight end more. I just think as a defensive-minded person as I am, I hate tight ends. They just mess up your defense. And if you think about the successful teams, even in like Georgia, what did they have? They had a great tight end. Alabama had a great tight end. Notre Dame had a great tight end. Look at the NFL. If you've got a skillful tight end, it puts a lot of pressure. And that's the only thing that to me is I just wish they would throw it more to the tight end to keep those safeties from coming over the top.
And Willie Rodriguez just came off a really good game, and I can see him honestly becoming a star next year.
Yes. Oh, he's not your average bear. He's pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
I feel bad. Caddis has had a lovely career here. I don't think he's Willie Rodriguez, but he's had a lovely career. He's a great human being, and he can't play his last game. He just put something on Twitter talking about how it's been an honor. I need to pull it up, but it's an honor and pleasure to play for Kentucky. I'm sorry I'm not playing my last game. When you got kids like Ty, your son, and Caddis and stuff like that, there's a lot of really, really, really good kids on this team.
Yeah, it is, and I get around them, and they are a very good team. You ought to see them after games, win or lose, or stopping to sign autographs with kids, and that's just good home training. That's just very good home training.
Part of that I give credit to Stoops and the staff. By the way, you can't have it both ways.
What do you mean?
Because he's recruiting good kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you can be a good kid and still be a dog off the field.
Absolutely.
On the field, excuse me.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I'm sorry, but please. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do both. And the biggest thing is they are 100% to my mind just great young people. And
let me read this. Big Blue Nation. This is Josh's tweet. This isn't how I hope the season would end. Grateful for the chance to wear this jersey and represent Kentucky. The fans, memories, and relationships will stay with me forever. On to the next journey. Thank you, BBN. Go Cats. You know what the second thing I read in here?
What's that?
That if they play in a bowl game, he can't play.
I did not know that.
I don't know. No. This is me looking into everything.
Oh, okay.
No, I know nothing. Okay, but when he is saying, on to the next journey, thank you, BBN, go Cats.
Right.
If the kid's healthy, he's going to play in the bowl game. So when he's saying this is over, it's...
Well, I think he's basing it on this last game.
And if that's all it is?
Not for the future. Because, again, he's got a chance when we win this game on Saturday and we beat Louisville, he can rebuttal. I mean, everybody, this is America. You have to, you can come back and say, wow, it ain't over yet, BBN. I got one more game.
Absolutely. By the way, he's a finalist for the Pop Warner Award, which is pretty good. He's a great kid, and a lot of people forget his dad only started in the NFL for a long time. Went to a little school called Michigan, offensive lineman. Are you having fun this year? Has this been frustrating this year? Or has it been a combination of both? How would you put it?
I've had fun. I mean, I really got to enjoy the team. I got to enjoy Ty. Just play hard. And my only sad part about it is 25 getting his season injury. He's a great young man, which people don't understand the mindset of losing your dad last year during the season or in the summer, and he just kept battling, and then he gets a senior injury that causes him to be done for this year.
Thank you, my friend. You making bowl plans?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm not a psychic. I believe in Jesus Christ, but the main objective is yes, I am making bowl plans.
I'm trying not to talk over you, but what you can't see unless you're watching on YouTube, when you said yes, Cisco Brian, kind of your eyebrows went as high as the brow of your 49er cap. You've looked at plane tickets, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, so
we looked at where we were going and how we were going and all that good stuff. I mean, I truly believe. I'm not just talking about it. I truly believe they can win this game and get in a bowl game and send these seniors out on a bowl. I really do.
That'd be really cool. I tell you what. Before the season, I said they would be 6-6, and about halfway through the season, I thought it might have been the dumbest prediction I've ever made, and now I think they're going to a bowl game. So,
well, remember, I thought they would go 7-5. Remember, I said that, and then you asked me who they're going to beat, and I said I don't know. I just feel like they have a chance. They had a chance. Look at the couple of games that they actually lost. They had a chance to win it. You got to make plays, but they didn't. So I'm very happy with them. We just need one more win.
You're gonna have 40 football players at your house for Thanksgiving?
No. No, that's not happening.
You'll have your whole family together, though, right?
The family will be here, yes.
Well, bless your brother. You've been a dear friend for decades and decades. Best to the missus, your much, much better half. Enjoy turkey, enjoy watching football, and something tells me Sunday night you're going to tell me quickly where they're going to a bowl game. What do you got it really quick? Where do you got it narrowed down to? Because I'll be honest, you spent more time on this than I have.
Well, I know it's a couple. It's actually, if you look at the thing, it's like 5 bowls. And at the top of my head, I forget which 5 there are. My wife Terry, she's more up on it than I am, and she's way up on it than I am.
Okay,
and she's excited as well. And but I know Birmingham's won somewhere in Alabama and Florida. So I don't know. I just want to get that win, and as long as we go bowling.
There you go. Hey, bless your brother. Have a great Thanksgiving. You are lucky and blessed. I'm lucky and blessed. And count your blessings, and I appreciate your friendship tremendously.
All right. You and Jimmy, again, y'all's family, be safe and enjoy your family tremendously, because life is beautiful. Just enjoy it. All right.
Well, I got to stop you for a second. You know what you just did? I don't know how many times you've done the show. It's the first time you said you and Jimmy, not just Jimmy.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You used to say, goodbye, Jimmy, go 49ers, and don't say.
No, that's coming. Huh? But that's coming. That was coming. I'm going to say, go Cats, go Niners. That's a fact.
Okay, get off my phone.
All right, love.
Hey, love you back. Bless you, dude.
All right.
See ya. First of all, Cisco's great. Second of all, I caught him, didn't I?
Yeah.
He never says me first.
Not at the very end.
No, he always says you. I mean, I've only known him since the 1980s. I mean, we go back a couple of years, but the two of you have this bond.
It's a 49er bond.
Yeah, didn't he? Am I remembering right? Didn't he once bring you like a 49er shirt or something like that?
He did. It was a shirt and a really cool cup.
Really?
Yeah. It's very cool. I think it was last year around this time, I want to say.
I think it was Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't he stop by the station to bring it to you or something like that? What a great guy. And Terry, she's wonderful. It's a great family. It really is. They stand for everything right. Jimmy, I was talking the other night. We're just BSing about whatever, and he was saying Terry was looking at places going to a bowl game. They were looking at a spot in Texas, and plane tickets and this, that, and the other. What they have to do, and I'm sure it's kind of like I'd rather drive if you can do it, right? Rather drive. And suggestion. Something you might want to do if you want to take care of yourself and really take care of yourself is consider acupuncture. Ramon Carriega, Blue Lotus Health, 859-533-0914, 533-0914. Acupuncture, now also providing a licensed massage therapist. Ramon Carriega. I almost slept through it the other day. I was so relaxed. And he's working on all different parts of my body, from liver, this, that, the other. And it's different things, different days, depending upon when he feels it, or I say, hey, my neck is bothering me, blah, 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 blah. And he can usually work on 3 things at once. And it's crazy how good he is helping you out. It's also crazy the first time you look and you see all these needles are in your body, and they just stay there. It's all good. Blue Lotus Health, acupuncture, 859-533-0914. Basketball with David Sisk coming up next. Alan Cutler, 3rd, 1500 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrell Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quattro family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
I'm Kathy Binkaman. Over the holiday, there was an attempted fraud attack. My personal banker, Mary Rose, and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials, including Mentos or Trident Vibes bottle pack gum for $3.99, or Uncle Ray's potato chips 3-ounce bags for $1.99.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pump and Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
I just got to be that consistent piece. I'm gonna go out there and play hard, bring good effort, have a high motor, and I feel like everything else will fall into place. But I'm trying to bring that consistency in terms of my game, both sides of the ball.
Do you have to step up any more vocally, or do you feel like you're doing that already?
There's always room for improvement. I definitely think I could be more vocal on the court, because I'm such a lead by example kind of guy that I tend to get quiet sometimes, but I'm trying to get out of that and be more vocal.
Ortega. Will he finally start being the player that many think he can be, like me? I think so. It's been a slow start for him, but I think it'll get better. Here's a guy that's always doing it better. David, tell everybody, David Sisk, where you're working for these days and what you're doing. You switched a few months ago.
Yeah, I'm working for 247. I guess I can say this without getting cut off. The Tar Heel 247 at the UNC site. And you can also find me, Coach David Sisk, at Twitter.
What's wrong with you working for Tar Heel? You're still following.
Well, you've got to play to your crowd. So
people are too sensitive. What do you think of the start of the season for Pope and Kentucky?
Well, they've really had 2 games so far that should be competitive, and that was against Louisville and Michigan State. You lose both of them, so that's not good. You got to take into consideration injuries, and I do that. A lot of people don't want to hear it. But if you go to last year's team, it started out so flawlessly. And I just think, I don't know if the worlds collided or what, but to have a completely new roster, it seemed like all those guys were a perfect fit. And they just gelled. Things started falling apart when they had injuries, and it made it tougher. That happened obviously not in the first game or two. So Kentucky gets them this year right off the bat, before they really can even take the floor. So they're missing some valuable guys. Um, so I felt like the Louisville game, the way Kentucky wants to play is right up Louisville's alley. I would. You just can't get out and get in that type of game up and down with them. That's what they like to do. And I'm sitting here watching Michigan State right now against East Carolina, actually. And I've watched a lot of Michigan State. They play North Carolina Thursday, so I've done some scouts on them. This is a 22% three-point shooting team. And, man, they look like Oklahoma City or somebody in that game. I mean, they're just making them from everywhere, and guys who are not shooters. So I thought you caught them on their best night. But Michigan State, too, they got so many returners back. I think this was a team that really had lower expectations than what they should have had. This is a very underrated team. They've got all these guys back. They know Izzo's system. They're mature. They've been developed. Man, and they just put you in a grinder. And they come at you 40 minutes, offense and defense, with their system. And you can't have lapses against them. And when they're shooting the ball the way they shot it, which they don't normally do, then they're really a tough out.
I'm not as upset as some fans because it started with Georgetown. They got pushed around, and they've been pushed around this year. And I remember the Ohio State game in the Garden last year where Ohio State was like a football team, and they beat the crap out of Kentucky. But Kentucky adjusted. And that whole thing started when they beat Western Kentucky at home. Western Kentucky pushed Kentucky around, yet they weren't good enough to win. And that was the blueprint. And that seems to be the blueprint now. And so now we'll see if Kentucky will adjust. And I assume, and there's no reason not to assume, Kentucky doesn't have to be the greatest physical team, but they got to be tougher, and I think they will become tougher.
I think Jaden Quaintance will make a big difference getting him back, because you got to look. And hopefully he's going to be healthy when he gets back, and obviously he's not going to be released early, but it's trying to just get in shape from a lower body injury when you've been out for months. And game shape and being able to get on a treadmill, run a little bit, is two different things. So, hopefully that can develop. But you're talking about a guy who is a top 10 to 15 pick in almost every mock draft. And that's your guy inside. So you miss a guy like that. And he brings physicality in that presence. North Carolina, obviously, saw that last year where they couldn't, they got pushed around a lot in the post. And you just see getting guys back and getting good players in with their bigs makes such a difference. And I expect that Kentucky may have to adjust a little bit, maybe not play quite as fast, maybe slow it down, get a little bit more in half court. But I just think getting guys like Quaintance back, it's going to make a huge deal. And, last year you had Amari Williams, and you had, remind me, gosh, the four from Wake Forest. Carr, I'm sorry, Andrew Carr. They were analytically two of the top defensive players in the country inside, and a lot of people didn't realize how good they were. But you lose guys like that, and then you come back and restock, and you really got the player you're looking for in that situation out with an injury. It's a work in progress, obviously.
What is the one thing that they have to do to turn this thing around for Kentucky? If there's one thing.
I just think getting healthy is going to be the big thing. I just think that's an issue. And I mean, like I said, it was a big deal last year. John Gruden, his wife is from my hometown. And I heard John Gruden say years ago, probably 25 years ago, he was playing golf with some of my buddies and one really good friend of mine. And he asked him, and my friend asked him the same thing. What's the one big thing about coaching NFL? And you got to remember, we're talking around 2000. And he said, you can't lose $5 million a year players and replace them with $500,000 a year players. You'll be on the unemployment line. And I think that's a key this year. I just think they got to get back and get healthy because they've got all these new players and a new roster with exception of OA and Garrison. And you just got to get them all in, let them play, let them mesh and see what you got. And look, it's not the worst thing in the world that you don't peak in November. That people have got to remember that this is a tournament sport. You want to be playing your best ball in February. I think last year Kentucky might have been playing their best ball early.
I buy that. Of course, if Butler had two healthy shoulders, they might have been playing their best ball late. But the point is very well taken. I don't hit the panic button. It's turkey time is here. It's not like they're playing like this and it's the middle of January. What's the biggest surprise you've seen in college basketball so far this year?
I want to add one thing about Kentucky too, if I can. Preseason expectations. Everybody's top 10, some top 5, 20 north of $20 million roster and all that gets thrown up. So you got to take that into consideration too. The expectations are so much higher this year. The biggest surprise that I've seen, I've just been watching a lot of Michigan State, like I said, and just for them to come out and play the way they did against Kentucky, that was just a big surprise. But they were not in a whole lot of top 25s preseason. If you go back and look, they were totally overlooked. And this is a team that had a lot of guys back. You watch them play, there's familiar names all over that roster. They're good inside, they're good outside. And I think when you have guys that just keep returning and they come back and they develop, but they just know Izzo's system inside and out. And I watch them right now, and we're not even to Thanksgiving yet. And to me, they look like a team. Now, they could peak early. But this looks to me like a team right now while everybody else is trying to get it together. They're about in January, February form because they have so many of the same players back and they know what Izzo wants and how to run his stuff.
Thank you, sir. Have a great turkey with you and yours. I always appreciate your time. And
yes,
it's okay to say you work for
well, I'm man, we didn't even get into live talk today, and
you didn't give me a toss. You didn't give me something that I could throw back.
Oh, I know. I know.
Hang on. Give me your life toss. What's in your cranium right now that's a life toss that we should discuss? Bring it on.
Be thankful. Yeah, we had our my grandson, first one was born last December the 15th, and we went to Pigeon Forge this past weekend with him. We've gone to the beach with him in the summer, but he's really kind of moving around and doing things and realizing what's going on. And he was with Santa and the Christmas lights and Frosty and all that. Just thankful. I've got so many blessings I don't deserve. Just very, very thankful.
Well, good for you. That's a lovely way to end. That's
exactly right. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and everybody out there is the same.
Hey, every day I wake up and when I meditate, the word that comes to my head all the time is gratitude.
Absolutely. A grateful attitude. And I'm sure you have it while you're doing hot yoga.
Haven't done hot yoga for years. I'd like to start doing it again, but I can't with my knee.
I thought you were.
No, I did it for years and I stopped.
We had this discussion when Lane Kiffin was doing it, and I remember you talking about it. And I texted you and we were discussing it a little bit. Yeah.
I did it for a few years. Absolutely. A long time ago. Helped me tremendously.
So a knee would keep you from being able to do that?
I'm working on it. There's a couple of things that I did for over 35 years that I took from hot yoga that I will never do again because of my knee and my eye. I haven't told you the story, but I was blind for a month in my right eye, and I'm lucky I'm okay now. And there's a couple of yoga moves I can't do. So I don't know if I'll ever do hot yoga again. I'm actually changing to more of some part Tai Chi. I don't know if you know what the Japanese do, the elder Japanese people. It's fascinating with slow movement and stuff like that. I do that like every other day. I'm walking in a special way. I'm also doing some stretching. I've really changed everything away from weights. I'm still kind of figuring it out. It's if you want, I'll send you a clip if you want to look at.
Well, yeah, I wish you'd do that because I'm gonna say you need to educate us on this thing because on some of these things because you've definitely got some knowledge and some gifts there. I think a lot of people would be interested in. It just doesn't come up in day-to-day conversation.
It's helped. I've done a lot of research on it. It's helped me a lot. It's just interesting at my age. I need to change. I need to change because of my knee. I need to change for my eye, but that doesn't mean I can't work out. So
Yeah.
I'm doing things differently, adjusting to father time, and I think it's smart. I'm ridiculous about working out 5 to 7 days a week. I'm not changing.
That's awesome. Send it to me. I would be very interested, and you may have an inside here. We want to know if there are hot yoga classes in Baton Rouge.
I bet there are. And if not, guess what? If Lane Kiffin goes to Baton Rouge and there isn't I bet there's a hot yoga studio. They're everywhere. But if not, somebody will open one.
Absolutely. Lane Kiffin Hot Yoga Studios. Yeah.
Or guess what? They'll put one in the complex for him and I'll have a teacher show up.
At the 50-yard line in Death Valley.
You got to take this. I got nothing about where he's going. I know nothing.
I follow this closely. I live in I don't live far at all from Mississippi line. I could be in Oxford in 2.5 hours, and there's a lot of Ole Miss fans around here, and they all think he's gone. But I can't imagine just he's kind of strung people along. If he would just stay off social media and do those things, it would be different. But it's like he's playing everybody, and I just think he's turned a lot of people off that are Ole Miss fans. And I just think that even if they do win and go to playoffs, I just think it'd be hard to stay after the way he's played this thing out. I understand him wanting to do what's best for him and his family, and you get restless. But man, when you just go on Twitter and make some of the posts that he makes and some of the other things that have happened, you just turn people against you.
Except for one thing. Here's where I disagree. Let's say he stays, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the fans are tired of his crap, and he wins a national championship. They'll forget all about it. So,
I agree. I understand
fans
that.
change their mind all the time.
But there's more likely that there's going to be tough losses and some adversity than there is him winning the national championship. Now, they're always going to be good, but the first time they lose to Georgia, they lose to Alabama, they lose to whoever that's better in the SEC, there's just going to be, I think, a lot more people in that fan base that are going to be against him than there was a month ago.
I don't disagree with that. Let me throw one thing at you that he said the other day, which I found interesting. And I think there's honestly something to it, but I don't think there's as much to it as he said. So he said kids today, because they can transfer right away, are not as concerned as they were in the good old days. And part of that I buy, but part of it, no. There's an insecurity if the guy who brought you there isn't the same, and you don't know who the next coach is going to be. You don't know what your paycheck is going to be. You don't know if you're going to like the next coach. You don't know if the next coach, if there is another coach, will want to keep you. So I really partly don't buy what he's saying. I don't, because just because kids move every day, that doesn't mean it doesn't upset them if somebody else is moving all the time. I think that's human nature. And I think he's actually a really smart guy. And his answer to me, honestly, although there is something to it, I think it was a bunch of BS.
I thought living in Tennessee, people had asked me about what I thought about Tennessee's chances to go to the playoffs. And I said, I thought they would have a decent chance because I thought Florida would not be a game they would lose this year in the Swamp for the first time in forever, simply because Napier wouldn't make it. He would be fired before that game. And the players they'd be talking to their agents more than they would be talking to the new coaches. And I think anytime there's uncertainty now, the agents get involved. And I just wonder how many players at Ole Miss right now, even with this going on, and this is just today's day and age of college sports, they're saying, okay, where am I looking at next? They may already be talking to their agents and the parents talking to agents and all that. So I think if you do any of that at all, it's a distraction.
It is a distraction. And I think players are talking to agents, whether it's the coach leaving or not. Offers are already being made. all across the country. What I know they're trying to do is the agents are trying to buffer it away from the kids and then present it at a later time. But if kids are calling, they're going to answer it. It's just everything has changed so much. Look, these are professional athletes at 18 and 19 years old, period. That's the way it is. They're professional. And some of that, I go with what he's saying, because of the movement, they're not as concerned because they might not be there anyway. But I still think it bothers him. I just do. Here's the other thing. He can't do this every year.
Yeah.
He can't do this every year. And then how many years is it going to be that, in LSU and an Auburn and a Florida, I don't know when the last time that has happened, but it seems like forever when those three schools were open at the same time. So you wouldn't think so. And look, he's got choices. It's not an easy deal. I think it comes down to one little thing. You know what that is?
Family?
No. I think that's number 2.
Okay.
I think number 1 is if he thinks one of the other 2 schools, he can win a national championship.
Yeah.
And will his family be happy?
Yeah.
I'm not negating it. I'm not negating the family. But if he really wants to go to one of those places and he wants his family to be happy, which I absolutely believe, but the push for him, if he goes somewhere else, would be to win a national championship. And if he leaves, it's obvious he doesn't think he can win a national championship at Ole Miss.
You agree 100% with Paul Feinbaum. I watched him Sunday morning with Matt Barry, and that's one of my favorite Sunday morning shows. And he said exact same thing. So Matt Barry asked him, he said, let me ask you this. Do you think he could win a national championship at Ole Miss? And he said, no. So, he said he wonders if Lane believes that, because when you pit them up against the big boys, against Alabama, against Texas, against Georgia, they're really good. They're a top 10, top 15 program, but they're not that. And LSU, when everybody's on the same page, they are that.
Okay, here's where I'm going to slightly disagree and say goodbye. You know why?
Okay.
Because of the expansion in the playoffs, I think it's easier. Nothing is easy. It's easier to win a national championship because a team that might win it might stub their toe. And so as long as you can get in, I think you have a shot. And if you have the right quarterback, and he does this year, he's not the only one, but he does, you have the right quarterback, and you could win the national championship, even if you're at Ole Miss versus LSU. And look at it this way. He stays at Ole Miss. Did he have the right quarterback last year? Yep. Did he have the right quarterback the year before? Yep. Does he have the right quarterback this year? Yep. Do you believe he'll probably have the right quarterback next year? Yep. And so I'm not saying anything is easy, and I get the power schools, but we are going to have in the next 10 years a couple of schools that's not Alabama, that's not Michigan, that's not Ohio State, those kinds of obvious schools that I think are going to win the national championship. That's just what I believe. We'll see.
Well, I could talk about it forever. It's interesting. Intriguing.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
God bless you. Happy turkey time to you and yours. Good for you with your grandson. You are obviously another person who feels lucky and blessed like me, and I always appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good dude. Back at you. David Sisk. Terrific. We are out of time. I'm taking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. I will see you on Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Count your blessings. And I do believe Kentucky will beat Louisville on Saturday, and they will have a bowl game. Where? Have no idea. Jimmy, have a great Thanksgiving with your family. I appreciate you, dude, tremendously. Have yourself a great day. Podcast will be up about 2:30.